Station Houston on Space Ground 2 for David, 1 minute out. Copy your thumbs up. Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. I'm ready.
Canadian Space Agency, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Station, this is the Canadian Space Agency. How do you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear. How are you? Hello, everybody. Welcome on board Space Station.
We hear you loud and clear too, David. Thanks for joining us today.
Here we are in good company with our special guest, who are the winners of the contest of last week, and Mr. Gross, we presented them with a special gift, a silver coin representing Apollo 11. Do you want to say a word? Yes, certainly. Thank you for the opportunity. Welcome, everyone, at the CSA. Welcome to the ISS, and it's a pleasure to speak to all of you, the finalists of the contest. It was a pleasure to read your stories. So a big applaud to all the participants and the finalists, and it's good for even for my children. I will be able to. It was a great pleasure. Your creativity and your imagination is at the basis of everything that is positive in life. So congratulations. Thanks a lot, David. So here, the media have lots of questions, so we are going to start right away.
Hi, Mr. Saint-Jacques. It's Sid Banerjee with the Canadian Press. So many highlights in the last 6 months, cosmic catches and spacewalks. Can you tell me a little bit about your most memorable moments in this over this 6-month period, and what are your final days going to be like on the International Space Station?
Sorry, you clipped that towards the end there. Can you repeat the end of the question?
You clipped that towards the end there. Can you repeat the end of the question? The question was just your biggest highlights over the last 6 months, and what your final days will be like wrapping up on the International Space Station.
So yes, I think so. The final days on Space Station, less than a week left. It's very hard to believe. It's been an incredibly full mission, and so much activity going on, both in terms of science and in terms of operations. You mentioned the spacewalk, a capture, the arrival of the first version of the next generation of crew vehicles, and mostly it's been an incredible human adventure with our crew here. Initially 6 people, and then 3 left. We were left with 3 of us for a long period, and then 3 more people came, a whole new atmosphere on board. And as we're ramping out, what I'm doing for the last few days is really trying to soak it all in, if you want, because I know that comes the day I go back to Earth, I will have to pinch myself. I think it will all feel like a dream. I will be maybe wondering if it all really happened. So I'm trying to burn it into my memory as much as I can.
Oui, bonjour, Anne-Louise Despatie.
Anne-Louise Despatie from Radio Canada. Hello. So other than the happiness to find you, to see your family again, what are the little pleasures, the everyday pleasures, the little things that you missed when you were in space and that you're very eager to do and to have again on Earth?
D'abord, je veux réitérer que ce dont j'ai plus envie, c'est de prendre.
Of course, the first thing is to hug my children and my wife. I'm not sure I'll be able to carry them on my shoulders anymore, but also feel the wind on my face. Here, of course, we don't have any wind, so I miss that. The other day, I saw the picture of a campfire, and that really struck me. That's something I really like. And of course, a meal with my family, my friends, walk in on the street. Here, it's always the same faces. Of course, it's people we like, but to walk on the street. Hello, Marianne. How do you prepare to come back to Earth? Do you have concerns? What is the first thing you're going to do once you're back home? Yeah, how do we get ready? There are lots of techniques, as you can imagine. Of course, there are lots of safety and security measures. We're studying with my commander and with all the procedures. And psychologically, the preparation, the most important is to make sure we leave the station without any regrets and knowing that we did everything we had to do here and be then available to start life again. And the first thing I would like to do when I come back is, I think, it's going to call my wife, Veronique. That's going to be the first thing I will want to do. And when I'll get back home, maybe try to go in the swimming pool, because with gravity, I think it's going to be difficult at first. So at least in the pool, I'll feel a little bit like here. Hello, newspaper. What is the thing that you're going to miss most from the ISS? What I'm going to miss, of course, the view from the cupola to, like I just saw, Egypt. So the view of Earth, its beauty, so impressive, its grace, and the emptiness, this little blue halo, and this feeling of very strong, this strength, but also it's how fragile it is, and this sense of privilege to represent everyone and have this incredible luck and opportunity. I'm going to miss that, and of course the team, my brothers and sisters, as we say, we are so close, even closer than friends. I'm going to miss them, but it's going to stay with me forever. Annie Demet from 98.5. So you're going to fall from the sky soon and go back to go back home. Do you have any concern regarding the actual travel, the journey? Of course, there are 2 points: medical things that are kind of difficult. After 6 months here without gravity, I learned how to move in every direction, and technically how it's. And I do not have this sense of balance anymore, and when I am in orbit, but when I go back down, I think at the beginning, I think that it's going to be difficult. I may not be able to walk straight. I may have blood circulation issues when I feel the circulation in my legs, and then the muscles, of course. I grew in space a few centimeters. There is no more, the space between the disk is larger, so I've been warned that that can be difficult when you go back down to Earth, and that may not be so easy.
Amanda Klein with CTV. Can you say that a little bit in English, just how you've changed in space and how you're going to sort of readapt once you're back on Earth? And also, if you can explain or just tell us a bit about what you're most looking forward to when you come back.
Okay, so first off, so things to look forward to and not to look forward to going back on Earth. The things to look forward to, of course, are reunification with my family, my friends, my loved ones. I cannot wait to take my wife Veronique in my arms and take my children on my shoulders. Taking my children on my shoulder might have to wait a little bit of rehab because I'll be weak, I think, when I come back. And the bad aspects of spaceflight on your health is that, on the one hand, I have learned to fly. So I've learned to make flips and I can be upside down. It doesn't bother me anymore. That's because I basically lost all sense of gravity. I've lost all sense of balance. When I come back to Earth, I'm going to need to learn to walk again. I'm going to be holding someone's hands probably. I might be nauseous or easily disoriented. That's something I'm going to need to probably take days or weeks before that gets back. And also aspect is I have grown a little bit. My spine has kind of elongated and every disc in my vertebra has kind of, expanded a little bit because there's no gravity to squish you down. But when I come back to Earth, immediately I'm going to be squished back down to my original size, and that can be quite painful, I'm told. So I'll be careful. Looking forward perhaps to jumping in the pool because there in the water you can float, and it's quite comfortable. Maybe it will remind me of being in my days here in space.
From Radio Canada. So this ISS trip was an incredible experience. So what are you most proud of? What are you going to bring back with you? I think the most important is the perspective, is the insight that we get. I'm so privileged to have this insight, and I want to be able to share this heritage and this insight. The fact that the Earth is magnificent and fragile and we need to take care of it, and also a political insight to see here are the flags of all the countries that have participated to the ISS. So, of course, it's not always perfect on Earth. There are political tensions, real tensions, but in space, we can prove that when we try, when we really concentrate on what we work on, we can make miracles. We can work together. And this is a very hopeful message. And I'm so proud to have been able to have participated to this and work like this. So that's a message for the future generation. The Earth is beautiful, fragile. Let's take care of us and let's work together to take care of it. And there are no excuses to not do it.
Bonjour, Hugo Duchesne,
Hugo Duchesne, newspaper from Montreal. What was your most challenging thing while you were in space? First, it was the adaptation. It took several weeks to physically adapt. It's very disorienting at first and a little bit nauseous at first. The brain doesn't understand what is going on with the gravity and the lack thereof, and psychologically adapt to all the work and how everything works. Of course, the training on Earth is very good. It's very practical, and But there is a time where the two teams, the living team teaches the incoming team. So there is that's part of the challenge, and we had to learn. My family and we had to learn how to live apart and how to keep the link alive, so that it would be a great adventure for everyone, and so that it was positive. And you have to juggle all these things. You have to be a good astronaut, a good husband, a good father, a good friend. So that's the challenge of everyone in life in the end. Marie-Josée from Radio Canada. I'd like to know the next few days, how are you going to spend them? And the landing, what are the risks and what are the maneuvers? So the next few days, it's like the everyday work, the normal work, the maintenance, etc. But we are also packing, so we cannot leave any trace. You can take pictures, but do not leave any trace. The same thing on board. I have to leave everything perfect for the next team coming in. And after that, we will bring back a few little things that are precious to us, and also the theory preparation, because all the procedures on the Soyuz, you have to know them. Of course, when I got certified, I had them down, but we have to review them to make sure, and we have to change the frame of mind, so that we can come back safely. And this is going to take a few hours. We're going to fall back on Earth. We're going to open the parachutes, land in Kazakhstan, and then the Russian team are going to recover us and take us to back to Houston, so that we can be reunited with our family. Paul Perrien, journal newspaper from Montreal. It's almost the 50th anniversary of the lunar landing. What did this historic event have on you, and how did it change the way astronauts see things? Yes, it's an extraordinary event. I wasn't born when Apollo 11 landed, but my mother was pregnant. I don't know if there was some kind of transmission through the amniotic fluid, but of course we all heard the story of what happened that day. But in as I was a child, these images of Earth seen from the moon, it's really gave me this quest for adventure. And I was thinking, I would like to be like them. I'm going to be healthy. I'll be an explorer, and it guided me. And since I've been here in space, when I see all these planets, the moon, the sun, it's like a ballet, and it becomes more familiar. And I think when we are in orbit, and I think of these astronauts 50 years ago in orbit and pushing towards the moon, and it's going to happen again, and it's just around the corner.
Bonjour David, Philippe Mercure de la presse.
Philippe Mercure. When you are going to leave in a few days, how do you feel? Sorry, it was cut off. Can you repeat?
Je voulais savoir, quand vous allez quitter la station, avez-vous l'impression que ça va être un au revoir ou un adieu? Bref, êtes-vous ouvert à une autre mission plus tard?
When you're going to leave the station, is it going to be a goodbye or just a short goodbye or forever goodbye?
Excusez-moi, je vais vous demander de répéter encore.
Sorry, can you repeat once again?
Alors, David, la question était,
So the question was, when you're going to leave the station, is it going a short goodbye or a forever goodbye? Are you preparing for another mission?
On part toujours d'ici.
Well, we always leave here saying forever goodbye because we do not decide as representatives for our countries here as operators to be part of a mission. We are not the ones who decides that. So it's wiser to leave saying goodbye forever. And then what the future holds for us, of course, we do not know. So it was such an adventure. It's easy to close my eyes and come back virtually like in a dream.
Merci, David. On dit que c'est
Thank you, David. That's the only time we have for you. We'll say goodbye. See you soon, and welcome back to Earth very soon. Thank you, everyone.
Station, this is Houston ACR. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. That concludes the event.
Thank you, Canadian Space Agency and participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.